right, guys, welcome to another live. I'm excited to get into this topic today. Now, with this topic, it's going to be a little bit different than what I'm usually preaching. Basically, a lot of times I say if you are falling off, then just like give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself some compassion, and you need to be nice to yourself so that it allows you to get back up again so you're not just kicking yourself. But there's a flip side of things where there's a certain point where sometimes it's time to start adding some discipline a little bit, and you kind of do gotta give yourself a kick in the ass and say, I gotta get shit done, and I gotta improve. Yo, what's up, Alex? How you doing, bro? So I'm going to get into the topic really soon, and we're gonna get started in five, four, three, two, one. All right, guys. So when do you need discipline? So, like I was saying at the start, it's really important to understand the difference here because I do talk a lot about having a little bit of compassion for yourself so that when you do fall off, you can get back on track. When you do fall off, you're not kicking yourself through a whole month saying, "Oh shit, I fucked up and now I gotta," like you lose all motivation to even get moving, right? You lose all motivation to go towards your results because maybe you've kicked yourself for so long that it's really discouraging, and you talk to yourself in a way that's like making you feel like you can't actually hit your goals. So at a certain point, you do have to give yourself some compassion. But on the flip side, there is a point where you need to start putting in a little discipline. And it still ties in with compassion a little bit because you need to be compassionate enough for yourself to understand that the discipline isn't. What's up, Lorenza? How you doing? The discipline isn't going to or is the thing that's stopping you from getting results, and it's not necessarily your fault. Discipline is a skill that you can work on and improve on so that you can keep showing up, right? But it's not something that you have just from the start. You're not just born with a ton of discipline, so it's a skill that you develop over time. And this is where kind of you do have to have a bit of compassion for yourself if you're falling off to get you to develop that discipline. But it takes discipline to develop discipline. So you need to make that decision that I'm going to work on this every single day. And basically, when you are falling off track so often and you haven't been making progress and you're off for like full months, it's time to get a little more disciplined and actually work on some strategies and learn to kind of get yourself up. Even if you've been down for a week, like at a certain point, you need to have that discipline to go again and try again even when you don't feel like it. So especially when you don't feel like it. So that's the main time when you need to have discipline, is when you don't feel like doing something but you know that it's important for your goals. So it's not necessarily about you slipped off and you feel like shit about it. It's more like you don't feel like going today, but you're going to anyways because you have that discipline to do the things that you know you need to do in order to get the things that you want to get. So really important to have that discipline in those times. And another time where it's really important is not only when you don't feel like it, like that would be the main thing that's kind of holding you back. But what's up, musician? The mental health. How you doing, bro? So yeah, the discipline needs to come when at certain times you're gonna maybe want to watch Netflix or something. Or you saying like you had a long day at work, or you did chores all day, and you feel like just sitting back, kicking back, and maybe drinking a beer and just chilling. Today you don't have to work out, is what you're telling yourself, and you can just work out again, or you can work out tomorrow. But that's when you need to have the discipline to choose the things that are going to give you long-term happiness over short-term gratification, right? So I know it's a very like common thing to hear, but it is super important that you make priorities, or get your priorities straight, because a lot of times we put our health and fitness on the back burner. We prioritize a lot of the shit that's not going to get us close to our goals, and honestly that's when we kind of get in that rut and we fall off for like a full week or a full month, and we can't get ourselves back up. It's because your priorities aren't straight. So you need to discipline yourself at certain times when you do feel like watching Netflix, especially when you're developing this new habit of going to the gym, right? It's not going to be easy. You're going to fall off sometimes, but you need to be disciplined enough to start taking those steps to improve on that. What's up, Henry? How you doing, bro? Haven't seen you in a live here before. So yeah, really important. That is when you need to implement the discipline. It's when you know you need to do something and you don't necessarily feel like it. Because So also another thing is at the end of the day, a time when you want to actually implement this is when you are developing that habit. What's up, Jason? So what you want to be doing is actually like you're putting these things on the back burner. You're putting your health goals on the back burner, and you're saying, I'll watch Netflix first, maybe, and I'll go later and work out. And then at the end of the day, you're just too tired and you're drowsy because, let's face it, watching Netflix, binging YouTube, that shit drains your energy. It's probably more tiring than working out. Actually, 100%, it is more tiring than working out because your physiology affects your psychology, right? So if you're sitting there all sluggish, you're gonna feel sluggish. If you go and get your workout, you're gonna feel more energy because you're moving around and you're actually lifting weights and you feel all motivated, right? So sometimes you need to have discipline in order to get motivated. You need to have discipline to go and actually start moving, and then once you get moving, you'll feel like doing it. You can't, it's hard to feel like doing it without actually moving into it, right? So instead of putting those things on the back end and saying, I'm going to start with Netflix and then go work out later, start prioritizing those things that are important for your health and your goals. Start prioritizing those things. You need to actually do those things first. And I know you might be tired at first because you just had a long day at work and you just really want to kick it or kick back and chill a little bit. But it's really going to be important that you do like prioritize those things and write it down. That's what I did. I have like a whiteboard with my list of values of things that are important to me, and I think it is on number one, if not number two, where growth and improvement, personal development, like that's my number one. So I'm clear on that value. So that's way ahead of Netflix, and I will prioritize that every single time. Sometimes it takes some discipline for me to actually do that because you don't always feel like it. But for the most part, at a certain point, it becomes a habit. And that's where the discipline is so beneficial when it becomes a habit and it all pays off, right? So yes, when you fall off, it's important to have a little compassion for yourself and say, look, I messed up, but tomorrow I can go again, right? But if you're falling off all the time and you're not clear on your priorities, have the discipline to get that straight. All right? So that's basically what I have to say is prioritize those things so that and then discipline yourself and actually plan it into your day, right? Like the thing is, we complain about time a lot of times, but I know you've heard this before, but we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And at the end of the day, like how long are you actually working? You probably have an 8 hour shift, maybe 9 hours. Then you come home, and then what's that leave you? Like that leaves you 7 hours until you need to go to sleep if you sleep eight, right? And I know a lot of you probably don't even sleep that much because you're busy binging Netflix, right? So like really plan out your day and figure out what it is that you need to be doing and have the discipline to execute, right? So you have your things that you have to do. That includes your job, maybe like that includes eating, and then the last thing is really going to be like the next thing is going to be working out and actually prioritizing your health goals, and that should be much more important than just chilling, sitting back, right? I'm not saying that you need to go all out all the time and become the next professional bodybuilder. That's not what it's all about. But as a trainer and in my life experience, I've learned to really understand how important it is to stay healthy. So have the discipline to actually go towards your goals. You'll feel so much better. It's more than just about your muscles, it's also about mindset because honestly, if you've been putting your health goals on the back burner for super long, you understand how tough that can be on your mindset. And if you've been working out for a long time, you understand how elevating that can be and how much more energy you have throughout the day from working out. So stay disciplined, and that'll help with your consistency as well. So, like I've said in the past, it's important to have compassion because you can't always be working out. Like you're gonna have off days, but stay disciplined enough to get back on. Stay disciplined enough to stay on when you don't feel like it. If like when you don't feel like it, that's when you need discipline. When things happen that are outside of your control, that's when you can have a little compassion for yourself. But really important to draw that line of what is it that's actually getting in the way of your goals. Is it something that you can't control, or is it Netflix or YouTube or fucking like going and drinking with your friends, whatever it is, right? So get your priorities straight and have the discipline to carry those things out. I appreciate you guys for tuning in again, and I will catch you guys tomorrow, same time, every day, or Monday to Friday at 12 o'clock MST. And that's it. Peace.